Imagine a quiet evening. You're sitting on the sofa, the TV playing the same familiar news. Nothing seems unusual. There's no dramatic chest pain like in the movies, no sudden collapse, no frantic calls for help in the middle of the night. Just a vague tiredness, maybe a slight wave of nausea, or a dull ache in your back. You sigh and think, it's just age, a little rest, and I'll be fine. But here's the harsh truth. Those small, almost invisible signs may actually be a silent heart attack happening inside your body. And the scariest part? Nearly 90% of women over 60 ignore them. I'm reminded of Margaret, a 71-year-old from Ohio. She was always active, always caring for her family, never one to slow down. One evening she mentioned feeling more tired than usual. Still, she pushed through, cleaned the kitchen, then went to bed as if nothing was wrong. The next morning, her family found that she had passed away in her sleep. No drama, no warning, just a heart that had quietly stopped beating in the night. That story still haunts me, because Margaret was not alone. Across America, thousands of women over 60 have faced the same silent ending, simply because they didn't recognize their heart's cry for help. A woman's heart after 60 is different. It doesn't shout with the crushing chest pain men often experience. Instead, it whispers. Days of lingering fatigue, a mild, unexplained nausea, a restless night of sleep, or feeling breathless after just a few steps up the stairs. These subtle signals are so easy to dismiss as just aging, but for the heart, they are often the final warnings. Science explains why. After menopause, when estrogen drops sharply, women lose a natural layer of protection for their arteries. Blood vessels stiffen, cholesterol builds more easily, and the heart muscle weakens. That's why heart attacks in women over 60 often appear mild, quiet, and deadly.
And this is why I need you to truly listen today. Not to scare you, but to help you recognize the 8 silent warning signs your heart may already be sending. Because if you notice them early, you can save yourself or save the woman you love. Remember, your heart has already beaten more than 2.5 billion times to carry you to this very day. It has worked faithfully, without rest, your entire life. And now, all it asks is one thing: your timely attention. So please, stay with me until the very end of this video, because just one piece of knowledge you learned today could be the difference between another peaceful morning and a loss that can never be replaced. The danger of a heart attack in women doesn't just come from its silence. It also comes from how often women themselves dismiss what their bodies are trying to say. Think about it. For decades, women have been used to putting others first, caring for a husband, raising children, helping with grandchildren, and managing countless little things around the home. So when their own body finally speaks up, the response is often, "I'm just tired. I'll feel better tomorrow." And just like that, the warning signs slip by unnoticed. There's another truth people rarely talk about. The symptoms of heart attacks in women often look very different from those in men. In movies or public awareness campaigns, a heart attack is shown as a man clutching his chest, sweating, and collapsing to the floor. But for women, it can look like something far less dramatic: unexplained fatigue, a touch of nausea, a brief ache in the back or shoulders, or simply a restless night of sleep. Because it doesn't look dramatic, many women mistake these signs for something ordinary, blaming age, the weather, digestion, or simply getting weaker. Biology makes it even harder. After menopause, women face a silent shock. Estrogen levels drop sharply. Estrogen is the very hormone that protects blood vessels, keeping cholesterol in check and arteries flexible. When that protection fades, the risk of heart disease rises sharply. Yet many women are never told clearly about this change by their doctors. And there's another problem: society itself. For decades, most heart research focused mainly on men. That's why both doctors and female patients are less likely to suspect the heart when unusual symptoms appear. Shoulder pain or back pain, often dismissed as a muscle issue. Nausea, blamed on the stomach. And in the process, the heart, the real culprit, is overlooked. All of this creates a painful irony. Women over 60 are more likely to have a heart attack, yet less likely to realize it when it happens.
This is deeply concerning because every minute of delay during a heart attack means more damage to the heart muscle. The consequences can be lasting disability or even loss of life. So if you are a woman over 60, or if you have a mother, sister, or loved one in this age group, please don't dismiss even the smallest change in your body, because the body never makes up symptoms. It only tries to say one thing: please pay attention to me. And that's why, right now, we're about to look closely at the 8 silent warning signs of a heart attack in women over 60, the very signs that 90% of people tend to overlook. Who knows? The awareness you gain today may be the reason you, or someone you love, avoids tomorrow's tragedy. In most people's minds, a heart attack is always linked to crushing chest pain or breathlessness so severe you can't stand it. But for women over 60, the most common sign is often very different: a deep, unexplained fatigue that lingers day after day. This isn't the tiredness that comes after cleaning the house or a long day of errands. This is an unusual exhaustion, the kind that makes you feel like every ounce of energy has been drained even when you haven't done anything strenuous. Many women describe it this way: I woke up after a full night's sleep, but I still felt completely wiped out. Just walking a few steps to the kitchen feels heavy. Even brushing my hair or changing clothes feels like a chore. The worrying part is that most women brush it off. It's just age. Maybe I didn't sleep well. I'll feel better tomorrow. And so they push through doing housework, caring for family, while their body is quietly pleading for help. From a medical standpoint, here's what's happening. When the heart can't pump enough blood and oxygen to the body, every cell begins to starve for energy. That's why you feel drained, why the fatigue doesn't make sense. And in many cases, this is one of the earliest warning signs of a heart attack slowly approaching. So if you or someone you love over 60 feels this kind of unusual, lasting fatigue, especially if it comes with shortness of breath, dizziness, or nausea, please don't ignore it. This is not just getting older. This may be your heart sending you a message. When people think of a heart attack, the picture that often comes to mind is someone clutching their chest in agony before collapsing. But for women over 60, chest symptoms are often much milder and far easier to miss. Instead of that knife-like pain we see in movies, you may feel something very different: a weight on your chest, like someone placed a brick there, a band tightening around your chest, or simply a burning, pressing discomfort that fades as quickly as it comes. Because it isn't dramatic, most women dismiss it. It's just fatigue. Maybe it's the hot weather. Maybe my bra is too tight. Some even mistake it for indigestion or blowing. But in reality, these sensations can be one of the heart's very first warning signs. According to the American Heart Association, brief chest heaviness is among the most misunderstood symptoms in women. It may last only a few minutes and can show up while doing simple chores, walking slowly, or even while sitting at rest. And because it feels light, many women lose the critical window of time to seek help. Here's what's happening inside. When the heart muscle doesn't get enough blood, it doesn't get enough oxygen. That lack of oxygen creates pressure or discomfort in the chest. Even if it's fleeting, it can be the spark that sets off a heart attack.
So if you ever experience chest heaviness, pressure, or burning, even for just a few minutes, please don't brush it off. Don't think it stopped, so it must not be serious. Treat it as an SOS from your heart and never hesitate to get it checked right away. When most people hear the words heart attack, they immediately think of chest pain. But in women, the heart sometimes sends its warning signals in very different places, like the neck, jaw, or left shoulder. You might feel a dull ache in your jaw that seems like a toothache, or a small twinge in your neck, like a stiff muscle from sleeping wrong. Sometimes it's just a soreness in the left shoulder, as if you had been carrying something heavy.
These symptoms can last for hours, even days, leading many women to believe it's simply arthritis or muscle pain from aging. But in reality, they may be signs that the heart isn't getting enough blood. When blood flow to the heart is restricted, the discomfort doesn't always stay in the chest. It can spread outward to nearby areas, especially the neck, jaw, and shoulder. In women, this spreading is often more noticeable than in men, which is why it's so easily mistaken. I remember reading a story from an American woman on a health forum. She wrote, "I kept a heating pad on my left shoulder for 3 days, convinced I had pulled a muscle. But when I started feeling dizzy and nauseous, I finally went to the hospital. That's when the doctor told me I was having a silent heart attack." The greatest danger lies in the uncertainty. Who would ever imagine that a toothache, a sore shoulder, or a stiff neck could be connected to the heart? Yet when we dismiss these signals, we give the heart more time under strain. So if you or someone you love over 60 experience persistent pain in the neck, jaw, or left shoulder, especially when it comes with fatigue or shortness of breath, please don't ignore it. It could be your heart whispering urgently, asking you to listen and to act before it's too late. And if pain spreading to the neck or shoulder can trick you, there is another sign that's even more dangerous: sudden shortness of breath. It feels as if you've just run a long distance, even though you've only done something very light. Shortness of breath caused by the heart is different from what you feel with a cold or asthma. It often comes out of nowhere, leaving you with the sense that you simply can't get enough air, even though you haven't been exerting yourself. Some women describe it like this: "It felt like I had just run across town, but all I was doing was standing in the kitchen cooking dinner." Medically speaking, this happens when the heart can't pump blood efficiently. Less blood means less oxygen reaches the body. To compensate, your breathing becomes faster and shallower. That's why shortness of breath is one of the heart's most urgent cries for help when it's struggling to keep you alive.
I remember reading a story in the news about a 63-year-old woman. She said that while preparing dinner, she suddenly had to lean on the kitchen counter just to catch her breath. Her heart was racing, but she felt no chest pain at all. She thought it was just the heat. Hours later, she was rushed to the hospital with a heart attack. What's alarming is that more than 50% of women report experiencing unusual shortness of breath in the days or even weeks leading up to a heart attack. Yet most of them brush it off as ordinary fatigue. So if you find yourself becoming breathless doing tasks that once felt easy, especially if it comes with fatigue, dizziness, or pressure in the chest, please don't ignore it. Remember this: breathing is life, and when your breathing changes, it may be your heart speaking to you loud and clear. But the heart doesn't always send its warnings through the chest or breath. Sometimes it borrows the stomach's voice, showing up as nausea, bloating, or frequent indigestion. Many women over 60 often experience digestive discomfort after meals, a bit of bloating, burping, or mild nausea. Most assume it's just food not sitting well, or simply a weaker stomach with age. But what few realize is that these stomach symptoms can sometimes be early warning signs of a heart attack. Unlike men, women often don't feel the classic crushing chest pain when the heart is in trouble. Instead, they may experience symptoms that mimic digestive issues, feeling queasy, acid reflux, or a heavy stomach even after eating just a little. Because of this, many women take antacids or stomach medication for days until the real heart attack finally strikes. From a medical perspective, when the heart isn't getting enough blood, the nerves and digestive system can also be affected, This imbalance creates sensations of nausea, bloating, or prolonged indigestion. What's especially concerning is when these symptoms appear alongside fatigue, shortness of breath, or dizziness. In such cases, it's far more likely that the heart, not the stomach, is the real source of the problem. One U.S. study found that many women hospitalized for heart attacks reported feeling like they had a stomach flu days earlier, upset stomach, loss of appetite, and persistent nausea. That simple confusion delayed them from seeking help in time.
So, if you or a loved one notice unusual, lingering nausea, burping, or bloating without a clear reason, please don't dismiss it. Sometimes what you think is a sensitive stomach may in fact be your heart's silent cry for help. From silent stomach troubles, the next warning sign can be even more frightening: sudden cold sweats, as if your body just went through a shock no one else can see. Many women over 60 have described it. They're simply sitting and resting when, all at once, sweat pours down like a faucet. Their clothes are drenched, hands and feet turn icy cold, and their body begins to tremble. Most of the time, they assume it's just a hot flash, age catching up, or the weather suddenly changing. But in truth, this may be one of the heart's silent cries for help. Unlike sweating from exercise or a hot day, cold sweats appear suddenly and without reason. They can happen while you're watching TV, reading the newspaper, or even while sleeping. And they're often accompanied by chills, dizziness, nausea, or a racing heartbeat. Medically, this happens when the heart is struggling to pump blood through narrowed arteries. The body responds by activating the fight-or-flight system, flooding you with stress signals that trigger cold, clammy sweating. It's the body's natural defense, but it's also a red flag. Your heart is in danger. A U.S. study found that many women admitted to the hospital for heart attacks recalled having cold sweats for days or even weeks before the event. Sadly, most brushed it off, confusing it with anxiety, low blood sugar, or menopausal hot flashes. That delay cost them the golden window to protect their heart.
So if you or a loved one suddenly breaks into cold sweats, especially if it comes with fatigue, shortness of breath, back pain, or nausea, please don't dismiss it. Treat it as an SOS from your heart and get checked immediately. Because sometimes those beads of cold sweat are the final whisper before the heart gives out. The next warning sign I want to share with you is a sudden, unexplained sense of anxiety or fear. Of course, in daily life, we all feel stress or worry from time to time, but this is something different, something subtler. It's when fear rises out of nowhere without any clear reason. You're sitting quietly, nothing unusual is happening, and suddenly your heart begins to race. Your palms grow sweaty, and your mind fills with a vague dread, as if something terrible is about to happen. Many women over 60 have experienced this and simply assumed, "I'm just more emotional with age," or "it must be nerves." But what few realize is that sudden panic without cause can actually be an early warning sign of a heart attack. Cardiologists explain that when blood flow to the brain is disrupted, the nervous system may react by triggering feelings of panic. It's not an imaginary emotion. It's a real physiological response. Your body sounding the alarm, not through pain, but through feeling. Some women recall being overwhelmed by fear so intense they had to sit down and hold their breath, yet they couldn't explain why. Only days later, they were hospitalized with a heart attack. It's this very uncertainty that makes this symptom so dangerous. Because it feels like a passing mood, most people dismiss it. But if you notice that you're experiencing sudden, unexplained waves of anxiety, especially when paired with fatigue, shortness of breath, or chest heaviness, please treat it as a serious sign. Going to the doctor to check your heart is never a waste of time. Sometimes the heart sends its message not through pain, but through your emotions themselves.
And it's not only during the day. Even at night, when the body should be resting, the heart can speak up through insomnia or frequent awakenings, often followed by exhaustion. Many women assume it's just aging, changing hormones, or simple lifestyle habits.
But when these sleep disturbances come with chest heaviness, shortness of breath, or a racing heartbeat, they may be your heart's quiet warning. Some women describe waking up at 2 or 3 a.m. with a crushing weight on the chest, needing to sit upright just to breathe. Others say they feel a sudden wave of anxiety in the middle of the night, breaking into a sweat and unable to fall back asleep. It's easy to mistake these symptoms for ordinary stress or insomnia, but in truth, they often point directly to the heart's reduced ability to pump blood while at rest. Physiologically, when your heart can't deliver enough blood and oxygen, the body has no choice but to wake you up so you can breathe more deeply. That's why many women feel more drained after sleep instead of refreshed. If you find yourself waking often in the night with fatigue that lingers into the morning, don't just blame age or anxiety. Sleep is when the body heals itself, and if even in your sleep the heart cannot find peace, it is a signal that deserves your attention right away. We've just walked through the 8 silent warning signs of heart attacks in women over 60. And as you can see, none of them look like the dramatic scenes we see in movies. No clutching the chest, no sudden collapse. Instead, the heart often chooses more subtle, almost whisper-like ways to speak. Recognizing these 8 signs is the first step. But the more important question is, what will you do starting today to protect your heart? First, make heart checkups a priority. After 60, your body changes faster than you realize. A simple blood pressure reading, cholesterol check, blood sugar test, or an EKG can uncover hidden risks early. If possible, ask your doctor about a coronary calcium scan, an incredibly useful tool to predict heart attack risk.
Second, commit to gentle but consistent lifestyle changes. You don't need grueling workouts. A 20 to 30-minute walk, a few yoga stretches, or mindful deep breathing can keep blood flowing and ease strain on the heart. What matters is consistency, not intensity. Third, eat smarter. Add more vegetables, fish, nuts, and olive oil. Cut back on salt, sugar, and saturated fats. Your heart doesn't need fancy meals. It needs balance and steady nourishment day after day. Fourth, manage stress. Many women over 60 are still caring for their family, but you must also care for yourself. Read a book, listen to music, share laughter with friends, or simply sit quietly and breathe deeply. Silent stress is one of the heart's greatest enemies. Finally, listen to your body. Don't brush off unusual fatigue, unexplained nausea, or restless nights. These may be the heart's whispers, and whispers are often the final chance to act before it's too late. Remember this, your heart has been working tirelessly from the very first cry you let out as a newborn, beating more than 2.5 billion times to carry you to this day. It has stayed with you through joy and sorrow, through loss and love, through every moment of your life. It deserves your care, your attention, and your compassion starting today. If there's only one message I hope you take with you, it's this: never ignore the small changes in your body. An unusual fatigue, a restless night, or a sudden wave of anxiety may be the only chance you have to prevent something far greater from happening. If this video has given you something valuable, please hit the like button so I know this matters to you. And share your story in the comments if you've ever experienced or witnessed any of these signs. Your experience might be the very thing that saves someone else's life. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so every week you'll receive science-based, practical, and heart-focused advice created especially for those of us over 60. Thank you for spending this time with me. Slow down, care for yourself a little more, and always listen to your heart, the faithful friend that has been with you every single day of your life. I'll see you in the next video.